All right, let's see. All right. So, some rings filed tonight. Already got somebody in here. Cool. I don't know who the one person is, but what's up? Everything plugged in so I can get back to work and not worry about it as much. Okay. So, for the one guy in here, girl, some rings filed on this little 5.3 here. Already feeling a little behind the 8 ball to get this thing done. I ain't posted in a while, so I figured I'd go live. I really had a lot of time to make videos, so just kind of getting everything set up. Figured a live would be better than nothing. If you're in here, comment. I want to make sure the comments are rolling through. All messages. I think it is. Just won't. If you comment, I'll be able to know. Okay, so go ahead and start with top rings here. This is going to be a boosted application. So, golly, shirt makes me look fucking fat. Boosted application, so we're going to go ahead and gap these rings for that. Start with a top ring. We're going to go, need to get that rope down here. I need a little calculator. I got one. Pretty big one, but I don't work in here full time anymore, so I don't have as much stuff laying around as I did. I can't use my phone. So we'll use a laptop. So we've got a, like I said, it's just a 5.3. Do some forward rotating assembly. Get it ready for boost. Looks like our bore is going to be 3822. So times, let's do 7,000s for boosted. It's 26. Heavy boosted stuff, I'd typically stay around 30, but I don't think this thing's going to see more than 15 or 18 pounds, so I'm going to kind of tighten it up a touch because it may be a street truck too. I think he's going to drive it on the street a little bit, so I'm not one to stagger it either between the first and second ring gap by like half a thou. I don't think that matters. I listen to people that know more than me, and Steve Morris, he doesn't make any difference, so we're not going to. So let's just land on, it's 26,000, so I want to open it up a little bit more. We're going to land on like 28,000. I kind of like that. So that wrote down for our build sheet. We'll double check that oil ring gap too to make sure it's somewhere around 15,000. It's rare that they're not from the factory, but it's always good to check. Better to check than to not, you know what I mean? Hey, if there's 30 of you guys in here, somebody comment. I want to make sure I can see the comments. I've got it set up for all of them, but I don't know if it's working or not. Would be much appreciated. Oh yeah, we got one. Sweet. So Weekend Warrior, what's up? Hope everybody's getting ready for Christmas. Gonna have a good Christmas. I want to try to get some work done for Christmas. Double check all this real quick. So tonight we're working on this 5.3. Just got it back from the machine shop. This is for a friend of mine, a good friend. He's been waiting a little too long for me to get to it. So it's a 5.3, getting a fully forged rotating assembly, BTR crank, BTR rods, Summit LS Pro pistons, and ring pack. So he's building it for an S10 T6060 Magnum and Pro Charger, hopefully. So what's up, guys? How's everything going? Hope you guys are doing well. Kind of get set up here. hardly see. Can you respond? Hello, hello. Yeah, I responded. How's it going? Can I have a rod? You can. I got plenty of broken, bent, and tore up rods. Thank you, thank you. I like the engine. It's currently a mess though. Like, I've got stuff going everywhere and other stuff in the background. This over here is a little bit of a mess, so. A little bit of a mess. I just had a mini split installed, so that was kind of cool. So I kind of got to get my banner hung back up over there and stuff like that. There's always something to do, you know how it goes. Speedmax, thanks man, I appreciate it. World Star, what's up? What's up? No fighting in here yet, at least. Yeah, it's a mess, man. It's driving me up the wall, but what do? Just keep chucking and seeing. Let's see here. I like to make sure these rings line up nice and flat so there's no gap when I start to file them. Perfect. Get that Harbor Freight special, man. This light actually is pretty gangster, not gonna lie. The magnet on it is super strong too. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Catfish, you can't wait to see the floor. Can't even see the floor. Yeah, I know. Actually, the floor is disgusting. I need to mop. I did sweep though, so you know, there's that. Yeah, right. Keep them closed. Keep them closed, and you don't know how bad they are. This one's not too bad though. I keep things a little pretty organized. I guess I better check and make sure where these are at before I get started filing it. Seen worse. Dude, I have too. There's nothing worse than like a really disgusting machine shop or engine building section, like where the floor is tacky and just like old school. I hate that. It drives me up the wall. A little bit of a gap there. Man, I haven't worked in here in so long. I'm struggling to find where my stuff is. Like, I'm worried I'm gonna not be able to figure out where the feeler gauges are. Man, that's gonna suck if I can't figure that out. But yeah, it's just a good old stock block build. Let's see here. 8 people in here. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. You guys that are new, if you are new, you got any questions, put them down below. I'll make sure to answer them as soon as I find my tools. It's proving harder than I thought it would, to be honest. Are you a dad? No, I'm not a dad. Nope, I'm not a dad. See, I told you it was a mess. I don't even have feeler gauges where they're supposed to be. Let's see here. 22. Man, that tears me up. I thought I had a good set, brand new set. As many as you can handle. It depends on how long you want the build to last. That was a test question. Yeah. I'm not drinking any beers right now. I'm on the little mini free waters. So. Make sure one more time in here before I have to go scouring through my other boxes. This box is absolutely totaled up top. I was in the middle of, I switched to a new box, and I'm gonna make this like the engine building tools. So like all the good tools are over there, and then this is like all the crap that I never use. And it's kind of turned into a little bit of a mess, but I'll be right back. Try to find a good set of feeler gauges. Have everything else on the sun, except for what I need. Isn't that how it works? Alright, stand by, I'll be back. Okay. Found all kind of other stuff. Let's see. Back to it. Let's see, what do we say? 28,000, is that what we said? You're still in there. Let's do these two here. Thought I was gonna have to go up to the trailer and dig some out. Did find all kind of other stuff in there though. So let's just see where we're gonna start here. Start about 10 thousandths. So we got a little ways to go. Put all this back. How many of you guys filing rings tonight? Jacob, that's weird. Real weird. Just take 10 thou off first time, double check it. Let's go 15. Tell you what I see a lot of when people build engines now, they build them so quick that they don't even take time to deburr the rings. Like even if they're pre-filed, which they rarely are, you should still double check and make sure. Like my ring filer here has a little deburr tool wheel on the other side, so that makes it nice. But you know, even if you don't have that, just go ahead and take a file to it. Always double check, because if not, you're scoring up the cylinders while you're doing this. Is an aggravating. It just doesn't look good. It's real bad on you. Perfect. Obviously, If you don't know, now you're gonna know. Always use a ring square tool, whether it's a piston with a ring on it or something made for squaring up the ring when you check it. 'Cause if not, you'll get a false reading, and again, not a very good thing. Okay, let's go. We went 15, so if we do 5 more, if everything looks right. I always file the same side too. Like if I file this side, I'm going to file this side all the way through. I'm not going to touch the other side except for deburring, obviously. So again, I just go ahead and touch that up. It doesn't have to be just enough to knock. Make sure there's no sharp burrs on it. Knock another thou and a half, 2 thou off that. That should be perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's very important, guys, like to do this. I'm sure most of you know. I have to clean this gauge some. I haven't used this stuff so long, it's kind of like tightened up. There we go. Always try to keep my zeros set. Just give her a little touch. Something you can't rush. Just take your time. Don't do this if you got somewhere to be. Or it's very important to get this right. It's just a touch tight for me. I'm just going to kiss it, and we'll call it taking off 19 thou off the stock ring. Just kissing it. Just a little touch, make sure everything's good. Careful when you're putting these things in too, because you will. I've seen guys like collapse them and break them, and never a good thing. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll take a look at the comments every now and again. Pretty good there. I'm just going to kiss it. We'll call it 20, and we'll double check it on the next ring too. Just want to make sure we're right on the money on these. I always check them, the gap towards me for some reason. Not really sure why I do that. Most people check them away from them that I see and watch. Absolutely perfect. All right, I say let's go straight to it this time. Maybe a thou shy and take a look before we get into a good groove. Remember, deburr both sides, all the way around the ring too, inside and out. That way I'm getting the outside edge, the top edge, the inside edge, all that good stuff. So really makes a difference. Just take your time. You don't want to take a bunch off, and also always double check, make sure your ring gap closes square. If not, obviously, I don't think anything like that's going to kill your build, but just attention to detail, man. Like, it'll serve you well building engines. So I stopped about a thou short. Fighting me, dude. Take that all day. Just 1.5 million more to go. I try to always follow them on the same side no matter which ring too. Like if I pick a side, right? If I pick the left side with the ring facing up like it's supposed to in the piston, I always do that throughout the whole thing. I don't know, I just feel like somebody will take it apart and look at it and notice that detail and be like, what dumbass? I mean, I would, to be honest. Like, you can't take time to put a little attention to detail in it. What else did you skimp out on? You know, I never get a lot of views when I do live, but I don't know why I'm mad about it, because I never watch lives on here. I don't think I ever really watch a live. Any of you guys subscribed or long-time subscribers or new or what? Somebody's going to have to say something in here. I'm going to get bored. I think it's straight there. Kiss that one just a touch. I don't really like that. I don't care what people say either. Every ring's different. Like you can take 20 thou off of each ring and have 6 different measurements. So it's always a good idea to double check everything. Check every one. Make sure they look good. You know, even on the Pro Mod stuff, they kind of move a little. They're not as tight of a tolerance as some people may think. It's definitely something you need to check, pay attention to. Get any better than that? I'm going to touch it just a little bit. It's a touch tight, but too bad. And I'll tell you too, it's better to be just a touch loose than it is a touch tight. Always better to be loose than it is tight. If you're too loose, only you will know. If you're too tight, everybody's probably going to know. And again, double check it. Don't just lay it down and throw it down. Perfect. I love when they just have just a snug little bit. It's perfect. Wow, nobody's commenting. Nobody has anything to say. Man, that's disappointing. No shit talk. No Ford's better than LS. No small block Chevy's the king. No, you're doing it wrong. Sure, somebody in there thinks that I'm doing it wrong or knows that I'm doing it wrong. Or... questions? It's probably because some of y'all are watching on TV quite a bit. Once you kind of get started, you can kind of see where they all start to land. You kind of get lucky every now and again where they're just first try. See, Jacob retracted his statement. I don't know what kind of weird shit he was on. In case somebody's asking why are you checking it in cylinder number 1 and not keeping it individual, the bores are exactly the same. The machinist did a pretty good job, so everything's the exact same, so there's no reason to roll through the rest of them. Kiss that one a touch. Also, if you're using like a ring filer like this, like Total Seal or Goodson or something, and you've set your 0 already, and it doesn't like return to 0 after you reinstall the ring, stop what you're doing and reset it. There's probably something a little out of whack or a burr or something weird. Keep it consistent. It shouldn't move. That little dial indicator shouldn't move on you, so always make sure you are repeating 0. Touch it one more time. Like I said, everything's a little different, so don't just assume if you do the math and you cut 20 thou out of it, every single one of them is going to be 20 thou. It just never works out that way, unfortunately. Especially the cheaper the ring, the worse it gets. So check everything, check. Perfect. Almost done. 3 more for the top ring. Then we move to the second. Like I said in the beginning, we're going to keep the ring gap the exact same. On these LS's, man, it doesn't matter. A lot of people tell you to just make them a half thou different, or sometimes the sheet, like this sheet will say, I bet you this sheet says it, bore times 7 thousandths for the top ring and 7.5 thou for the bottom. So as you can see, there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. I don't do that. I mean, we've never had an issue doing it that way. But if you feel more comfortable and you think it's smarter to follow the instructions, man. But I'm here to tell you that little bit does not make a difference. It's not the job of the second ring anyway. Also, don't cut them too fast. You know what I mean? You build up so much heat, it'll actually discolor the ring. I don't know that it actually hurts it, to be honest with you. But it also looks like you rushed. If it does hurt it, and all because you were in a hurry, it's kind of senseless to blow somebody's stuff up, or your own stuff up, because you just wanted to hog some material off of it. Take an extra, 10 minutes total of filing rings. Takes a lot longer to rebuild the engine. Costs a lot more money too. Kiss it just a touch more. And when I say kiss it, I mean like maybe a thou. Most of the time half a thou, which is hard to read on the indicator, but kind of just get a feel for it. I have had them too, like right out of the box, where there's a burr on one side and you'll file the other side and there's still a burr like on the inside or something you don't see, and it'll throw the measurement off. So you always kind of visually check, look in here and make sure there's not a burr on the inside in here that's kind of holding your gauges up for some weird reason. Perfect. We get all these filed, then we get to clean them all up. Wonder how many people do that, actually clean their rings before install. You'd be surprised how nasty and dirty they really are. if you're doing a lot of engines, it's a good idea to invest in one of these Goodson or Total Seal or whoever has these electric ring filers. Man, they save time, and I've built a lot of engines. Filed a lot of rings with this ring filer. It's even traveled to the track with me with some of the customers that don't have one. And I've had the same wheel on it the entire time. I just true it up every time, and it's still there. I bought I bought a replacement. I've never put it on. Hell, I don't even know where it is at this point, really. Like I said, and that's been over 100 engines, that's for sure. So let me give you guys a different point of view. Looking that way, kind of see some stuff instead of just me filing rings. Kiss that one just a touch more. Three people in here. I appreciate the 3 of you guys or girls in here that are still watching. Like I said, I don't really watch live, so I can't really complain if I get nobody watching mine, to be honest with you. Man, it's nice when it comes out like just right. It really is. Last top ring, boys and girls, pimps and hoes, whatever. Still no questions. I'm gonna chalk it up that you guys are watching on the TV and can't comment. What my feelings on it. I normally would have music playing, but YouTube doesn't like it unless it's their preferred music. Done. Now, second rings. Again, I always file them, make sure there's no trash on it so it sits nice and level. Always file them with the same way. Second rings, I always file them in the direction that the piston is, so up being up, I don't flip it upside down. Some people say that matters, the way it grabs the way it burrs out the scraper part. I think if you deburr it, it doesn't matter. So. Actually, what I need to do before I do this is, I don't think I put a title on this thing. That's probably why it's not reaching a lot of people. Be real honest with you. What does this do? No, turn that off. But got any SMX billet blocks? I don't have an SMX block. I'll turn this off, but I will show you. Get you unplugged. I will show you a Cali's Energy block. This is actually a first generation. This is number like 5, but there you go. So gonna end up being a 427 cubic inch boosted build. I mean, as you can see, the cross bolts are massive. So we do have some billet LS stuff in here. Looks pretty nice. Sorry, I hope you're being able to see that. I just kind of showing you in the direction because it's forward facing camera. A couple things that we have done is receiver grooved. Top fuel hoot from TKM. So my boy John Doc definitely hooked it up there. Make sure Kevin and those boys took good care of us, which I had no doubt that they wouldn't. Get you plugged back in. My phone was about to die, so I don't want to do that. Turn this back on. Let me get one checked before I go to filing, because a lot of times these rings are just so different. Somebody else took their message off. Were you guys shy or something? Huh. Let's see here. Yeah, see, that's a lot tighter. I'm going to say that's like 5 thou. That's 10 thou. And it still didn't work, so I'm going to go ahead and set her. Let's just go ahead and take 20 off, see where we land. I do have some heads for that billet block that not a lot of people, you don't see a lot. It's called straight jacket heads. They're a little older. So fucking gangster ass heads from Mass. I'm not even sure they make them anymore. I'm a little aggressive here. I'm gonna go to 25,000. I think that was about 3 thou clearance. Pretty tight. I'd like to get my hands on some of Steve's stuff, just to, I'd like to even look at it. I was going to go to PRI this year, but I just didn't have time with work. And kind of take a look at some of his stuff. I'm sure he has some stuff on display. But that never happens. Right on the freaking money. Start there, starting off good. 01 Tahoe with a 5.3, 250 extra horsepower. 150 to 200. You know, you can always heads cam, decent heads cam, and intake manifold, and a good tune. You know, say a cam is worth 60, 50 to 60 horsepower. Heads, it just depends on what heads you do. Like, we use a lot of Frankenstein stuff. You can send your heads off and they'll send you another casting. Those kind of trade you core for core. And that should get you, you know, should get you close to that 120, 130. And then good intake manifold, you should be all over 150. If you want it quick and easy, you can always put the bottle on it. Real easy that way. Just get somebody to tune it, don't just spray it. And do a wet kit too. You'll thank me later if you do a wet kit, not a dry kit. You said it was a 01? That's I think mine was an 04. I had an 04 Tahoe in high school. Love that thing. Wish I still had it. I'd still be driving it. I'd say if you're gonna get a cam, I'm a big fan of Brian Tooley. I got a lot of friends that work there, and we've been working with them since I've been doing machine work and engine building. Their stuff is always top notch, man. I mean, just always on the money. It always measures correctly. You get exactly what you pay for with them. I did hear, like last week, they did possibly make a deal for a private equity buyout. So I would say if you're going to do it and you're going to buy from them and you want an actual Brian Tooley product, I'd probably double check. I'm lowering it, slinging it around. Fuck yeah. Do something like a 4.6 drop on that thing would be sick. A little bit of a burr down there. Let's go ahead and touch that up. Perfect. You know, you could do heads, cam, intake, and nitrous. You can like purge the bottle as you're whipping shitties, would be kind of sick, not gonna lie. Perfect. You would break TikTok, that's for sure. Make for good content. That's the plan. Hell yeah. Make sure you subscribe and shoot me a message or something if you got a YouTube and stuff like that. I'll make sure to follow you back. And you send me a message also on like Instagram, or leave a comment or anything like that, and give you a follow. We're on TikTok too, so trying to do better at posting more here. I've just been so busy, man. And when you're that busy, you don't really have time to do this stuff, so you don't have that many people ringing your phone to do it. I have a good many people ask me to build their motors and spec stuff out, but I don't really have that much time to do it. Every now and again, I sneak down here and have the energy to do it, or the want to. North Carolina. We're in Atlanta, about 40 miles west of Atlanta. I'm not 100% sure if John Dock still sells parts or not. He's a buddy of mine, really good dude. You can always, hit their shop phone up and see if they can point you in the right direction with a cam and stuff like that too. I'm sure they'd like to take your money. Very knowledgeable too, so they won't steer you wrong, that's for sure. A little more out of that, kiss that one a little bit. Maybe take 2 more thou off of that one. Chucking along, knocking these things out. Palmer's from a Challenger down that way. I don't know Palmer's. I have to look them up. I don't know them. What are you planning on doing to the Challenger? And you're gonna have to do something to keep up with the GM vehicles. Trying to think of the guys that do Mopar stuff down here. I've done some engines for them, but that was, dude, forever ago. Oh shit, what was their names? Shit, man. Can't remember the shop's name. It'll come to me. Getting some new people in here. Now up to 5. I haven't done a lot of Mopar stuff, to be honest, any Hemi stuff. I've done a few and got no gas in it. It's about to. I'll have probably a short block done by tomorrow night. I'm not gonna work on this thing like crazy. I still need to final clean it. I just deburred it, so final clean it, get everything cleaned up, and then probably throw the rest of it together tomorrow and get head gasket and stuff like that. We'll get head gasket, put out links, all that good stuff. I got a few gaskets here I can check. If I got, we'll do the math. If I got a gasket that fit, we'll do that. Take a push rod measurement while it's here and try to get everything on order at the same time. I know this guy's chomping at the bit to get his stuff back. Blue Jay. Cat no 2,000 plus. Man, 1,000 horsepower on the street is it's a man. I think like 750 horsepower in a manual car is like perfect street car. The red Camaro on our channel, you'll see it every now and again. It makes like 750 to the tire. And it's like just enough to where it's not like too much. But you're definitely not driving to California in it. It'll wear you out. It's got a D1 SC Pro Charger on it, built motor, T56 or a T6060 or something like that. T56, I thought. The red fits in. But I enjoy driving that. It doesn't get out much, especially in the wintertime. Just that, just a touch more. Wow, that's pretty sick. We don't have stuff like that down here. We don't get cool shit, man. We just get the regular run-of-the-mill stuff. Like right now, a lot of dealerships are carrying single cab dualies right now. It's like the new thing down here. Don't get me wrong, I'd like one for my other business. We got a roofing company here, and we rent out roll-off cans, and they're on a gooseneck trailer. Definitely would be nice to have something short and stout like that. But I just can't justify 70 grand, man. You can't say you're born and bred Chevy with a damn Mopar in the garage. Come on, man. We'll have to get you straightened back out. Last one. No, it ain't gonna twist the passing. I got the Joker that's on our channel, the one we blew up at US Street Nats last year. I mean, it made like 1175 before we pulled it off the dyno, and I think, it's made well over that before. I mean, not on a dyno because we just kind of get it close, take it to the track. We're not beating on it so much, but it makes well over 1175 at the track, and it's a T-top car, and the T-tops still don't leak. That's from '98. It's a fucking classic now. First one I've owned in my 50 years. 50 years. Well, I would say you're getting wiser with your old age, but I don't think that's the case, man. Don't get me started. I'll talk shit with y'all all night. I'm surprised nobody's talked any shit. Normally, I get all kind of bullshit and hate. Dunzo. Sweet. To me, the worst part of building the motors is the filing the rings, man. I get so sick of that. It like hurts my neck, like all bent over. It's never fun, especially when you don't want to do it. It doesn't go smooth ever. So glad to be putting this thing back up already. Put these feeler gauges back where they're supposed to go, so I know exactly where they're at next time. Okay, so we got that. Let's see here. Purposely bought an RT, prove a point. Hey, now I can get behind that if you're just going to prove a point to somebody. Oh, Hector. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm worried with anybody who's got time and money to put into a program. I would be worried about that. Don't you think? Wouldn't you? I mean, hell, I'd be more worried about it. I see a guy unload a G-body with no ramps off the trailer, and it's a nitrous car at a grudge race. That's the guy I'm most worried about, not the guy with the most money. I'm telling you, because some of them boys, dude, they're wicked fast, and they'll sneak up on you and bite you quick. All right, let's see. Let's make sure we got all our notes wrote down for our build sheet later. Ring gap, 28 thousandths on top. 28 thousandths for the second ring. We checked oil already. Okay. Well, that's at least done. I say, let's go ahead and pop a hole in this brand new acetone jug and get these rings cleaned up, get that coating off of them. Can't stand taking the tops on and off of these things, so I just pop a little hole at the top and squirt it out. It's a lot easier than trying to pour through that big ass hole. So, pretty clean rag. See what I mean? A lot easier. If you're worried about it all coming out, you can throw a piece of tape over it so it doesn't evaporate away. See how dirty these are. Not horrible, to be honest. I've seen a lot worse. Sometimes they ship with this nasty coating all over them. I don't even like filing them with the coating on it because everything just sticks. These weren't too bad though. Everybody who's new here, we're putting together a forged 5.3 for a pro-charged S10 with a built 6-speed. Should be a pretty badass little street strip truck. I know the guy's been planning on building this thing for a while, so he's got his ducks in a row. He knew exactly what he wanted. He spec'd it out pretty good. Took his time. I think he'll end up being happy with it. I'm funny, even though I know the difference between a top and a second ring, I always keep them labeled. I don't know why. It's like a pet peeve of mine. Just like knowing it. I don't know. A little confirmation, visual confirmation. This stock Hellcat took me 3 years to build, pushing 585 to the wheel. It'll be a 5.3 build. I like the 5.3 builds, man. I think they were like super popular, and now they're like very underrated. And but I feel like they are making a little bit of a comeback, because like around here you can't buy like a stock pull out 5.3 for less than like 500, 600 bucks. When used to, man, I could buy them things for $100 a pop. Pull out, just junkyard motors, and you know, nobody really wanted them that much. But it seems like they're kind of coming back. I think because everybody realized how expensive the LT stuff can get if you're not careful. But hell, the LS stuff can get the same way, you know. Good on this thing. Same there. Yeah, it's weird. Like, people want astronomical for a 6.0. Like, A lot of the ones I see like with a harness are like 1,200 bucks. I'm like, man, that is just crazy. Like, used to buy them with a harness for like 800 was like a nice damn pull-out 6.0. These cleaned up too. See what I mean? I don't know if you can tell how oily they are. There you go. Always good to get all that shit off, man. It's just makes the assembly process that much nicer. And yes, I know you're gonna put oil on it and assembly lube and everything gets dirty again, but it's also nice to keep it clean while you're going through everything. Your thoughts on the new 5.5? Man, let me be real honest with you. I don't know a thing about it. That's my opinion right now. I don't know a thing about it. I'll have to do some looking, I guess. Get back to you on that. What is your opinion on it? Give me the rundown on what exactly it is. That'd be great. Save me the Google search at 3 a.m. Wish they would make a cheap iPad that was just for like going live on YouTube so I could actually see what you guys comment when I stand out of the frame a little bit. It's like, you can't see nothing. You don't want to see me and my nose hairs like wiping rings down. You want to at least look at this and look around and not see me breathing heavy in the camera. But I can't see. You're so small in the comments. I'm out of shop rags too, so I'm reverting to my nice microfibers. Kind of sucks, not gonna lie. All right. Got all those cleaned up. Everything's set back over here out of the way. So, not a fan of the new vet design. I mean, I like the ZR1s. I think they look the best, obviously. I mean, no different than a C6 or a C5. You know, you've got a base coupe. Doesn't look as good as a Grand Sport or a Z06 or a ZR1, but for the price point, though, it's a little out of my budget. I do have a C6 Grand Sport, white, manual, 2013, which is last year, that car with a diamond blue interior. I do like that car a lot. Cool thing about that is that you got the LS7 dry sump in there. So it's a dry sump LS3. Wish it was a Z06, but I actually like the look of the Grand Sports more, like the front fenders. I like that a lot better than the Z06. So it would be nice if I had unlimited budget and money, I would just stab an LS7 in it and, you know, an A&A supercharger and heads cam, E85. That'd be pretty sick. But unfortunately, I don't. Maybe one day. Keep the car long enough, maybe it'll be built. I just don't want it to end up like my Trans Am over there sitting in the corner because the manual's broken it, the T56 broke in it again. Let's see, we got the rods done. We can go through and measure the crank. Let's do that. Let me get my microfiber set down. I hate setting this on top of my box because it like chews it up. All right, let's see. Turn you guys over here. Okay. So, have another rag here. Again, it's got like shipping lubricant all over it. So I like to wipe it down before I get my hands all nasty measuring this thing. And no, it's not going to rust in here. This is got a little mini split in the assembly room, so it's somewhat climate controlled in here to an extent, at least enough to where things don't rust or anything like that. This is my first time on one of these Brian Tooley cranks, though. We'll see how nice the journals end up, if they're consistent or not. It's a big thing. I've had some cranks. I'm not going to name names because, I mean, whatever. Not my business. Just won't buy from them. But they very inconsistent journals, and it kind of makes for, if you're doing something kind of like this where it's going to make over 1,000, kind of makes for a pain in the ass to get clearances exactly the same and things to act right. Spend all that time machining it and everything, and then I wonder if I guess these things are pre-balanced, certain rotating assembly weight specs, because I don't see where anybody balanced this thing that doesn't look like they didn't, like, you know, shot peen the crank. Crank looks cranky. That's kind of funny. I haven't heard that yet. Crank looks cranky. It do be cranky. I had a pretty cranky crank at last race, and XRP at Dallas, Texas. We broke the front of the crank mid-pass, and it was not kind to the rest of the engine, that's for sure. Everything's pretty much trashed. The blower popped off pretty good. That was a pretty good sight. Hated to see that, because I mean, it's a lot of money. It doesn't matter how much money you got, you know. You hate to see somebody spend all that time and money to build it and get it in there and get to the track, and 5 or 6 passes it lets go. A little aggravating, but it's aggravating when something like that happens, because, you know, it's not like it's an engine builder thing or a tuner thing or sometimes even a manufacturer thing. It just could have been a freak accident where, like, maybe the material was weak, maybe it developed a crack, and, you know, you didn't catch. There's so many things that can go wrong that you can't really point the finger at anybody. And everybody's favorite thing to say is, well, that's just racing. And to an extent it is. Okay, that's nice. The journal does look nice, though. I will say I know they balanced it, because I don't know if you guys would be able to pick it up, but you can kind of see a faint line that runs across this. It's on the polymer, or the plastic V blocks on the most CWT, well, most balancers, but I know if Brian Tooley did this one, it's a CWT balancer, and that's what I used to have, so that looks very, very familiar. It doesn't affect anything, it just kind of gives it a little sheen. I don't know, the crank looks good. It doesn't really have any harsh edges. The casting looks nice. There's no heat treat, you know, little thinner places you can see in the heat treat and stuff like that. So looks pretty good so far. Let me grab a water. And we're back. Look at there, lost 2 of you. Attention span sucks. Don't judge my free little baby waters. All right. Put a standard on this thing real quick. Always standard all my mics, just they never move. I just force a habit, like wiping them down, checking 0. Sometimes, I mean, they do move. I don't want to say they never move. I adjust them a good bit, but when they sit for so long, You see, they don't really move. Once you take care of them, they stay pretty straight. So, you're not beating the shit out of them. All right. Get this wrote down here. Crankshaft. We're gonna do mains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and rod journal. Okay, it's hard to bend way down to right. So, give me a little chart built here. Always write this down on a scratch sheet of paper just because your hands get oily and shit, and then you transfer it to a build sheet later so it's nice and clean. $550, 5, 6, 7, 8. 58 with 4. It's been so long since I read a mic. It took me a second. I had to look at it, double check myself. 2-inch, 558 thousandths, and 4 10,000ths. Perfect. So I just go through and double check everything. Make sure they're all relatively the same. This will help you for bearing clearances later, that's for sure. Make sure you're not measuring on the oil journal holes. So with the 4, same. That's good. We're starting off good. 555 or 58 thousandths with a 4. Little discrepancy there. Let me just make sure it wasn't me, because like I said, I don't do this as much as I used to, so I'll make sure it's not me giving myself a false reading here. Which it was not. 1. About 3 10,000ths of an inch discrepancy so far. It's pretty good, in case you guys are wondering. It's not bad. A human hair is about 3 thou. So, kind of put it in perspective, this is 3 10,000ths. So, very, very small measurement. Let's see. Let's get on this side so I can see pretty good. There we go, back in the groove. The 2, and always the fun one down there at the very bottom. Let's see, where are you at? There you are. Oop, double check. Six, 7, 8 with a 2. All right. 2-inch, 558 thousandths with a 2. So, not too bad. Not too bad at all, boys and girls. A little machinist trick for you. Speed up the roller. Check our rod journals. All right, we write down our rod journals. What's the plan with it? Starting off great. Look, what's the plan with it? So it is obviously a 5.3 getting forged rotating assembly, BTR crank, BTR rods, LS Pro pistons from Summit, and the plan is that this thing is going into a S10 with a built TR6060 and a Pro Charger of some sort. I don't think he's decided exactly which Pro Charger he's going with, but pretty sure he's hard up on the Pro Charger. I suggested a turbo, but he wants to go Pro Charger, so hey, it's his money. Let him spend it how he wants. All right, so rods. Check that measurement. We're gonna call that with a 3, not a 4. Okay. On my build sheet, I always, write down if I have a discrepancy, and just that way I know. Looks like everything's holding pretty true so far. No discrepancy between journals yet. I have a feeling the further back we get, just like the crank journal, we should see some. Get a double check on that. Yep, holding true so far. It's really good. It makes engine building a lot better, man. So you're not sitting here trying to piecemeal bearings to kind of get everything to match. It just makes the process so much better. All right, almost there. So much better than Plasti-Ace too. And really, I think you can buy a cheap set of mics for like 50 bucks and just do it the right way. Hey man, new sub here. What's up, bro? Thank you, I appreciate it. I ain't had a new sub in forever. To be fair, I hadn't posted in like 6 months, but I appreciate the hell out of that. Joe, what kind of car is in your? Is that a 5th gen? I can't see. It's so small on here. I can't tell. Last one, boys and girls. Ooh, let's get a little more consistent there. Cool. Just like that, we're done. Oops, bad. Clean up a mess a little bit. Okay. This billet adapter needs to go back in here. Let's close back up. All right. You're gonna like the vehicle I have, this man says. Hell yeah. 68 Malibu wagon. Fucking A right, dude. Hell yeah. What's in it? Got all that done. We got our bores measured, pistons measured, piston to ring, or your rings done. We got our crank measured, we got our rods measured. We pretty much have everything we need done. I'm not gonna check the mains yet because I really want to clean it before I start running gauges through it and stuff like that. I don't want to mess around and get a false measurement because I got a burr in there or something. 327. Hell yeah. You have to send me some pictures on that on like Instagram or something. We'll take a look at that. That's pretty pimp, I'm not gonna lie. I'd like to have something like that. That'd be pretty cool. Cam bearings are in. And I guess we can try and decide what I want to do tonight. I don't want to get too far into it without cleaning all the parts up. We pretty much have everything measured, guys. The blocks deburred, painted, measurements are taken, machine work's done, needs to be final cleaned, ready for assembly and bagged and tagged. The crank needs to be cleaned out pretty good. I guess we can go ahead and clean the journals. Now I do pop the top on the acetone for that. You don't have Instagram? What about Facebook or anything like that? We're on TikTok, Facebook, any of that, man. Pop the top on a new acetone bottle. Oh, it's pretty clean. Not too bad, really. Let's see. I'll unplug you guys. Not too bad, really. Seen a lot dirtier, so. Damn, there's one guy in here. I done lost everybody. Damn, that happened fast. Can't blame y'all. I don't really watch a bunch of lives either. I'm not gonna take it personal. There's some debris come out there. Let's get a little bit more acetone. I moved my notebook, so. Oh yeah, there's some material coming out of there. I bet not a lot of people do this step and they wonder why their bearings kind of come out looking like shit. It's probably because you guys can't see shit about what I'm doing. I had to bet. All right, getting the crank journals cleaned out a little bit. Going pretty good so far. It's a new bottle. We want to use plenty of this to get all this gunk out. Like I said, this BTR crank is pretty damn clean. This last couple journals done. Move on to something cool. All right, just like that. Cleaned up. Bag it, tag it, wait for an install. All right. Your mess cleaned back up here. Got a ring filer put up. All right. What do you guys think? What do we want to do here? So we could mess around and hang some pistons on some rods. Why not? Put the crank back up. All right, let's see. But you guys are having a lot more exciting of a night than that. Get some more information wrote down. I get the cards and stuff. I always write the information on the cards, but I do double check everything except for like the center to center on them. I don't really have a great way. I need to make a tool to do that. Yeah, I could probably make a tool to do that with an indicator, like a pin welded to, or I tell you what I could do. I could CNC a plate that a pin would slide into with some register, and then, hang on, I'll draw it. I could do that. That would actually be really good. I mean, I'm sure they sell something like this, to be honest with you. I could probably look. But if I took plate, put a pin here, and mounted a indicator on it like this, and put the pin, the small end of the rod, and then took the cap off, and the rod would U, right? You know, it would be like, I'm not an artist, so something like that, and you could rock it back and forth and get the overall measurement. It'll work pretty good. Be a $1 trillion idea if it's not already one. If you guys do that, you make sure you let me know. I'd appreciate the kickback. All right, so this is a BTR rod, right? 4340. Looks to be pretty nice. Never used a BTR rod. I always use Cali's crank and rod and a CP Carrillo piston, something like a bullet or a custom piston. Normally what I use. So BTR crank and rod is a little different. I wonder who makes them for them. But it's nice. They have the torque spec, the recommended torque spec between 75 and 80 foot-pounds. Bolt stretch 5 to 6 thou. So we'll have to go ahead and double check that. 6/125 rod and a 2-inch 225 thousandths big end, and the small end is a 928. So that should. We'll check pin clearance too, just out of curiosity. But it should be a 927 pin, so a thou clearance. That's probably about right. And nobody's on here to watch. Oh, there's one person to watch. I was just sitting here rambling by myself. So, yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and get all that information wrote down real quick. Off the info card, and we'll go ahead and double check it. And now it's just me. So cool. Move that there. Maybe it'll entice somebody to watch. So 4340 steel rod, and let's just go ahead and do, hey look, they use CMD, so that's good. I like the CMD better than the Carrillo rod assembly lube. I'll be honest, I hate that shit. It reminds me of ARP lube, so that wears me out. So CMD's good. 75 to 85 foot-pounds. We'll double check that. And 5 to 6 thou of stretch. We'll double check that, make sure it is a 6/125 rod. And it should be a 2-inch 225 thousandths, yep. And a 090. Oh, okay. An 092 and 8. Perfect. Okay. So, well, I've been on here long enough. I'm gonna let you guys go, considering there's one person in here now. Now, as soon as I say I'm gonna get off here because nobody's in here, so I'll stay if you have questions or you want to see what we're working on here or whatever. But I haven't really had a lot of engagement tonight and just kind of working away, so. Next part's going to be kind of all over the place and not really in the frame, so I was fixing to hop off here. But if you got a question, shoot. I'll wait on you for a second. Anything. Talk shit, anything. material, torque, and now there's 2 of you. Stretch, and okay, so I have all the rod information wrote down. Yes, you can keep the card, but if you're anything like me, you lose it. So, all right, I'm getting off here. Appreciate everybody that watched. One person in here, thank you very much. I will catch you guys on the next one. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I've made almost $60 on here, not on this live on YouTube, ever. So, we're getting up there pretty good. Making 60 bucks isn't bad. Now there's 3 of you in here. Okay. I have 3 guys in here. You guys have any questions? Guys, girls, anything? We've had some conversation, but not a whole lot. We've been getting everything ready, measuring this block out, getting all the measurements we need. We filed rings, and there's nobody. I'm out.